Hello. In this episode, I will show you step by step how to replace the glow plugs yourself in a BMW E60 and E61. I will tell you what is very important and what you must never do if you want to keep driving your car. I will also tell you a few very important facts about glow plug diagnostics and the glow plug system, as well as some interesting information about the glow plug controller that you definitely don't know. After watching this material all the way through, you will be able to repeat the entire process on your own car without any problem. Now, without any unnecessary talk, I'm getting to work. The car I will be working on is a BMW E61 with a 3-litre diesel engine, the M57N version. To reach the glow plugs and be able to remove them, I first need to take off the engine cover. I start by disconnecting the cabin filter on the left side, which is held in place by plastic screws that can be unlocked by turning them 90 degrees. I also need to remove the metal clip that secures it from the top. Then I repeat the exact same procedure on the right side of the car. Next, I remove the main seal by simply sliding it off, and I disconnect the center link between the filter panels, which only needs to be pressed slightly downward so it can be easily pulled out toward you. The panels under the filters require turning another 3 screws 90 degrees around the main opening and 1 screw in the center connector. You will have no trouble with any of this. I repeat the same steps on the other side of the car and take off the entire panel, setting it aside. Now, at the support bracket, I unclip the plastic cover first from one side, then from the other. It is not screwed in, it is held by clips. Then I remove the 4 screws holding the bracket itself, because taking it off will allow me to reach the plastic engine cover that we need to remove. I put the bracket aside so it doesn't get in the way, and I remove all the engine cover screws, which I also marked on the screen. After taking them out, I remove the first large section of the cover, remembering that I need to take off the oil filler cap so I don't catch on it. Then I pull out the second, smaller cover piece. Now comes the second part of the disassembly. To reach the glow plugs, we also need to remove the intake manifold. So first, I loosen all the intake runner studs that connect to the engine block, but I don't remove them yet. This prevents unwanted stress on the rest of the assembly. Then, I do the same with the bolts hidden deeper inside. I loosen each one first, and only when the manifold separates evenly from the block will I remove all the bolts completely. Next, I disconnect the throttle body electrical connector. To do this easily, you need to press both sides inward. Then it will slide out with almost no resistance. I continue with the EGR cooler hose area where there is a clamp band that I loosen. This allows us to remove the intake manifold together with the throttle body and the EGR valve without taking each part apart separately. Next, I disconnect the pressure sensor plug on the manifold. Right below it, there is another electrical connector hidden a bit deeper. I unplug that one as well. I also remove the bolt that holds the dipstick tube in place. On the right side, there is a vacuum hose that controls the swirl flaps in this model. I disconnect it by sliding the end off the fitting. Finally, I remove the clip from the main air duct and pull the duct off firmly in this direction so the whole assembly can be released. At this stage, the entire unit can be taken out of the car in one piece without any problem. Now we have full access to all the glow plugs, which don't stand a chance against us. They will have to come out. I start by removing all the small power connectors. And now, the most important part. These glow plugs have never been removed before. They have been sitting in this engine for 21 years, and I confirmed that based on their production date after removing them. There is a method that helps even in cases this difficult. I use WD-40 to spray each glow plug before removing it. I do it once in the morning, again in the afternoon, and once more in the evening. Only after the whole day, when the fluid has had time to penetrate the threads of the glow plugs, do I start removing them. From experience, I know this method always works. Without it, they might still come out, but it would definitely be much harder, and there is always a chance that in really difficult cases, one of them could break. And that creates a lot of complications and extra work. Fortunately, you can make the job easier, but it requires proper preparation and a bit of time. I take out all the glow plugs one by one and bring them outside to take a closer look. It's easy to see that their best days are long gone, and now we'll check whether they even work after all this time. For this, you'll need a multimeter with a resistance measurement function. I set it to the lowest resistance range, which in my case is 600 ohms. Now I place one end of the meter lead on both ends of the glow plug. A resistance reading should appear on the meter display, and it should fall between half an ohm and 2.5 ohms. If we see no reading at all, it means the glow plug is completely burned out and not working. What is the final result of this test? It turns out that among all 6 glow plugs that were installed in my car, 3 do not work at all, 1 is damaged, and 2 are functional. In one word, a complete disaster. The only reason the car was starting was the warm weather. In winter, there would be no chance of starting the engine with the glow plug system in such condition. To make diagnostics easier for you and save you time while working in your garage, in a separate recording, I will show you how to diagnose glow plugs without removing them. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a comment. It helps me create more content about repairing and servicing your BMW. It only takes you 3 seconds, but it's a huge motivation for me and I truly appreciate it. Now I'm going back to my car to install 6 brand new ones. But before I begin, I will first clean the socket, wiping it with a carbon cleaning preparation. After cleaning the seats, I put all the glow plugs back in their places, first tightening each one by hand so I can feel the thread and make sure it engages correctly. Then, I tighten each of them with a torque wrench set to 15 Newton meters, and here, a long socket or a box wrench will be very helpful to avoid damaging the plugs, so it's worth getting one. At this point, the entire replacement has been successfully completed. Before we go any further, I want to tell you a few words about the glow plug controller. If you're replacing the glow plugs, you probably want your car to start smoothly after a long rest and in winter. Replacing the glow plugs is only half the job. For everything to work properly, the glow plug controller must be fully functional. There are 2 ways to check it. The first one is to scan the car with a diagnostic computer, where you'll see any potential glow plug related issues in the error list, just like you can see on the screen right now. The second way is to remove the controller and check it on the bench using a multimeter, which is also a very reliable method if you don't have access to a diagnostic computer. I will go through both of these topics in detail in a separate video, which I encourage you to watch because it's really worth it. Now I'm going back to the car to put everything back together. Before I tighten the intake manifold back in place, I thoroughly clean the engine block at the gasket contact surface, and only then do I set the manifold onto its position. While everything is still loose, I first reconnect all the plugs and hoses at the back, because this gives me a bit more room for my hands. Then I reconnect all the components at the front, such as the electrical connectors, the EGR cooler hose, the throttle channel, and the oil dipstick bracket. At the end, I tighten the entire intake manifold evenly using a torque wrench, making sure not to exceed the maximum tightening torque because these are delicate components and you must not overdo the amount of force. Then I install the engine cover, and I believe that from this stage on, you will handle everything on your own without any problems because the rest is very easy to reinstall. And I invite you to the next episode. Take care.